I wouldn't be able to date because probably, who knows, my cousin might have dated him. Next thing you know, like, oh, he dated my third cousin. Or worse, he is my third cousin.
No. Welcome to the Audacity. In this episode, we're talking about
dating, relationships, and toxic shipping.
Stay tuned. We've done it. We've made it to the third episode.
We did it.
Compared to how much we complained in the first episode about not knowing what we would talk about, literally all we can do now is like plan out future episodes and future topics, and the content just kind of came overnight naturally.
It really did. And I am at least very surprised at how smooth the second episode went for us, at least while recording it.
Yeah. Because for backstory, the first episode took like 3 hours to record, and there was a lot of editing and a lot of stopping and like a lot of nerves, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. At least I was nervous.
I was too.
Yeah. Then the second episode, we're professional already. Sponsors, please listen.
Oatly.
We can do this for you.
We can plug your product.
I hope this episode goes the same way, although we're a little hesitant because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for our disclaimer.
Yes. To our parents.
Mom, dad.
Ma, bo. Like.
No.
This
episode's not for you.
Turn off the
Kindly
everything.
Close the app. Shut
the
down
app.
your phone after you've left a 5-star rating.
Yes. And you can share it in your story, I guess. I don't care.
Yes. Just trust. I mean, they support us in everything we do.
Yeah.
So this episode is good. We'll just tell you that. But leave. Everyone else, welcome. Let's get saucy. Because today we're talking about dating and relationships and a whole bunch more.
It might get spicy. Where do we begin?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a simple question.
Oh, no. Okay.
Very simple question. Yeah. I know the answer to this. I want to hear your answer.
Got it.
What's your relationship status?
I've been looking into recently the joys of committing yourself to a higher purpose. I really want to start a convent with my other single friends where we just focus on self-improvement and modesty. And that should tell you that I haven't been on a date since February. I have consistent dick in my life, but it's the one attached to me. It's not always my favorite option. So I'm single for now.
Okay.
There's, quarantine is going on. The pandemic is still out there. I don't feel great about meeting random strangers.
Absolutely.
But, there's possibilities out there to look around for. So we'll have to see. But at the moment, very single.
Very single.
What about you?
My relationship status is shoot your fucking shot.
There you go.
Shoot your fucking shot.
That's both a directed message to who she wants to be received by and just a general motto that we're sharing with everybody.
Shoot your fucking shot.
Yeah, I've been shooting my shots lately.
And how?
That's what I ask myself too.
No, as in and how,
Exactly. Without getting into it, I mean, sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes they backfire.
But you wouldn't know if it's...
But you have to do it.
You have to do it.
Not in this year, in this economy. There's too much. There's too much to lose by not doing it.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Well, I've been through the worst already.
Exactly.
So, knock on wood, I don't want to bring anything... I don't want to bring anything worse, but I feel like, shooting a shot that might backfire even horribly, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll survive.
I've got the maturity now. I've got the experience now. I think I can manage.
I
I
know you can
mean,
manage.
rewind to like me like having breakdowns with you on the phone at midnight because of something some boy did or didn't do.
But
But
you know what? That makes for great content.
but when has that not happened? That's not a new phenomenon. It probably won't be an old phenomenon either.
No. We try to avoid cycles, but we can't help get into them.
Oh no,
That is,
absolutely.
we know what's good, what's not good.
Yeah.
We know like what's right, what's not right. Yet.
And we kind of know also what we want and don't want.
Exactly. But yet.
But yet, yeah.
We fall into these cycles.
It happens.
It happens. And that's, I don't know if it happens with you guys. Maybe you guys are very healthy and very emotionally strong and
you imagine if we I just can imagine the viewers now just being really, wonderful, terrific, standout people who have their shit together and just really like do good things in the world.
And honestly, good for you.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
so happy
Absolutely.
that people like you exist.
Thanks for listening too.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you close to us.
Genuinely. But for us, unfortunately, I think there are plenty of reasons behind this, to be very honest. It's not that we're not smart enough to, process
to make it work.
to process what's happening. Us.
We're stuck in this strange cycle of we are communication experts.
Yeah.
Which means, we have some really good insight into relationships.
Yeah. Well, not experts, but let's say we have
I think we
quite
have more training skills than the average person does.
yeah.
In understanding how communication works, understanding how relationships are formed and built, and how impressions are managed, and how signals can be sent and received. With all that insight comes so much analysis.
Indeed.
But there's one fatal flaw, which is at the end of the day, we're still participating in this discussion. Like we are part of the conversation that we're having. So if I'm trying to flirt with someone, I can't study that the same way I could do a study on something else.
I think a good probably analogy would be how a movie critique watches a movie. Like they cannot watch a movie just for fun.
Exactly.
They will end up analyzing it. I mean, a part of them will.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens with us.
So if there's a new situation starting and I'm talking to somebody, of course I'm going to overanalyze and psychoanalyze and try to find signs and signals because that's what my brain knows how to do, but I can't also do that while I'm in the picture.
Exactly.
Because then my own emotions and feelings are just wrapped up with all of it. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
We're like the most equipped, but also we have this big Achilles heel.
Absolutely. And I think I am in a very, well, I'm not in a similar situation, but I've been in a similar situation. And I think even in going forward, I'll find myself in this same situation where in places where I don't have to overthink, where I don't have to overanalyze, like just a text, just a like, just a this, just a that.
Yeah.
I end up doing like fucking calculus in my head. Like, I need to time this. I need to do this. I need to make sure I'm not appearing too clingy, but also I need to make sure that I'm not so nonchalant that I'm not interested. What do I do?
I don't know.
What do I do?
bitch, same. I mean, receiving one simple text message or just even smaller, receiving one emoji. And the process starts. Let's outline the research. Let's figure out what are the motivating factors behind this behavior.
Yeah. And why did he frame it this way?
What kind of personality archetypes is he distributing right now? What's going on?
Honestly. I mean, where do I?
I mean, it's fun, but also I'm fucking tired of overthinking so much.
Exhausted.
And I'm Cancerian on top of that. So
Water sign.
I mean, this is just quadruple overthink.
Absolutely. I think that's the same with Scorpio. Yeah. As much as we're very cool and calm and mysterious on the outside, on the inside, we're like we're like the engines of probably a spaceship or something. It's just running overtime. It's if something is slightly off, that's Apollo 13.
Oh my gosh.
And there's no way around it. And I think this stems from the expectations we have, kind of
Yes.
in our heads,
I think so too.
of
Influenced by a lot of different things.
a lot of different things. And so there's a difference. So we have high expectations and we have high standards.
Yeah.
It's great to have high standards
Mhm.
because we know for ourselves, if we were in their position, we would be able to deliver on these high standards.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
we would have no qualms about it either on delivering. So to have high standards, I feel like is still justified, at least in our heads.
I think so too. It's not about being picky, it's about being mature and wanting to be a good partner.
Exactly. And knowing yourself.
So if I'm going to do that, that's what I'm going to search
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Because yeah, we do have that self-worth and
exactly.
we've got that confidence too, that swag.
Yeah. But high expectations,
That's different.
that's different. And that's not healthy,
Period.
period. So yeah, I mean, I think our high expectations also stem from the fact that we're very hopelessly romantic
Yes,
and we romanticize everything.
definitely.
And especially when it comes to boys, every little thing that they do is just amplified, or I don't know if it's even if it's horrible, it's amplified. Even if it's really nice, it's amplified.
Yeah.
And that just sets us up for failure.
It's a tumble every time. It's a hurricane. He didn't text me back today. Can you imagine how hard it would be to raise children with this behavior? Or like, oh my gosh, he laughed at my joke. He's the kindest, most considerate, Nobel Peace Prize worthy
Person ever.
And there's no difference because that's what it's like being a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, exactly.
And add that on, compound that to us being perfectionists with most other things in our life. So of course we're going to like fixate on our love life being perfect too.
Exactly.
That's why like I flip back and forth a lot between hopeless romantic and hopeful romantic. And I love the theory of being a hopeful romantic. That was like actually like my Instagram bio and like in all my dating app bios for a long time because that's how I felt while I was younger.
And also while you were not in Amsterdam, I'd say.
And then things changed.
Things changed.
Oh, well, I mean, before I got here, I didn't really date.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very sporadically. I met people very sporadically. I mean, I still lived at home. It was different world. Then I moved here and it's open season. And this is, like a gay capital of the world here. So there's plenty of people. And I'm a student. So one does as one does. But yeah, and it's taken a long time. And we've had so many discussions kind of boiling down to this fact, which is the Dutch culture is not the most compatible with what I want in a romantic partner.
I absolutely agree. And especially from the cultures that we're coming from and the cultures that we were exposed to, and what we expect. Which
is so funny. You would normally say we're from opposite cultures, and in many ways we are, but at least we have one common bone to pick.
Yeah. Well,
but
it's a big bone. No, but this like you said, coming here, the ball game was so different. I was so surprised at how they approached dating.
Yes. Just some background for those who aren't from here or familiar with it. I mean, it's a very direct culture. Sometimes that borders into rude and offensive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just means straight to the point and efficient.
Yeah.
None of those 4 words are anything that I think about wanting in a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, that is how I would probably describe my work ethic.
Yeah,
and
basically.
Not my love life.
So yeah, it's a very direct culture. It's also very individualistic culture.
Very. And adding to that, in individualism, it's so I think from where you come from and from where I come from, people are on the outside at least friendlier, kinder.
Yes.
In the sense that there's always a hi, a hello, a smile.
I mean, America's still a very individualistic country in some terrible ways.
Yeah.
But there's also the social warmth that doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them. They only see the sun 3 times a year.
You're correct. I would also act the same way if I didn't have enough vitamin D in my body.
Absolutely. Well, we're not getting any D in our body, vitamin or minerals or otherwise.
Whew. I really hope our parents have.
No,
queued
I
up.
mean, it's their fault if they didn't heed our warning. But okay, so we've got, direct, individualistic, maybe cold,
Very cold and
frugal,
and unapproachable.
and arrogance bordering to kind of prideful sometimes.
Yeah, but that's also
Sorry, go ahead.
I know, but that's also a great thing to be as a person. I think
work it. Get that confidence.
Yeah,
Live your life that way.
be independent. Be like super to the point. Get things done.
But don't be a fucking jerk if you're trying to date someone.
Yeah.
Or if you're interested in someone.
Yeah. Try to.
Especially, like, gotta say, this is a very international city. Of course, I've dated, plenty of non-Dutch people. There's plenty of them to find. But if you're a Dutch person and you're going to be dating an international person, maybe try to find some middle ground culturally.
Although, don't fetishize them.
A whole different topic, but yeah, that's true. But I mean, you should know if you're talking to us who come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got to work on keeping your directness under the covers for a while.
Under the covers for a while. Be a little softer. Like, for example, if it's in Kathmandu, I can't say because it's a very small city and everyone knows everyone. But anywhere else, I think I could approach someone in a bar, or I could get approached here.
And every time I've been out traveling here in Europe, that's happened.
Yeah,
I've approached someone or I've been approached.
But in the 3 years,
that I've lived here, that's not happened once.
Not even once, because that's not a thing that they do.
Right.
And that's something you expect, and then that doesn't happen, and that kind of shits on your ego a bit.
I mean, and then we could wrap in a whole more complicated level of how things work in the gay community.
Yeah.
That might be a whole separate segment for later on, but I'm just talking about a very simple dating world. Like, it's hard when you're coming from that cultural reference point.
Yeah.
Not to shit on it. Some people are into that.
Yeah.
We're just saying we aren't.
We aren't.
And that's why things have been kind of troublesome. Yeah, I mean, while we're on this, Dutch dilemma for us, I mean, let's hear, what is it like talking to a straight white Dutch man on Bumble or Tinder or something?
My goodness. What a loaded question.
I mean, this is not an experience I'll ever have, thank God.
Lucky you. No, when I was on dating apps, and I'm not anymore, it was super weird because so this is a constant experience I've had, is that they would be very flirty on screen, and they would kind of have a good, like, conversation.
Banter.
Banter. Okay, I wouldn't say banter. That is exaggerating.
That's too intimate, too complicated.
But when you meet that person, it's not the same. And this has exclusively been with the Dutchmen that I've dated.
Right.
Maybe I am only exposed to a pool of people who act like that.
Yeah, sure. Look, take this whole episode with a grain of salt. Yeah. Maybe we just had bad luck.
Maybe our algorithm's fucked up.
Who knows?
Maybe we have bad karma. Honestly, we don't know.
Maybe we both need a lot of therapy. That's not a maybe.
That is a definite.
Anyways, they don't measure up.
No, they don't. And also, I think so I can only speak from an experience as a South Asian. They kind of do fetishize you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the first Dutch person that I went down on a date with exclusively said, "Oh, I've only dated Asian people." And I said, that is an interesting thing to point out to me.
Wow.
But then he went on to say, like, "Oh, I went to that country, that Asian country.
Okay.
And I even learned that language, and how to write it."
Okay.
And so that, again, this is, again, going back to overanalyzing it, maybe. But when I, stalked his social, all I saw was, pictures of him with Asian girls.
Oh.
Also. So maybe that was a red flag, and good thing we didn't date after that, and that was a one date thing.
Also, shout out to like stalking socials. If we're if there are not two people who are better at that than
Oh
us,
yeah,
I don't know.
we will dig out skeletons, fossils,
And it's a team effort too.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Um, that might be a shameful thing for some people, but for us, it's not.
Yeah.
We consider it a skill.
It's a research.
It's research.
Practice.
And in this day and age, I think everyone needs to know as much information as possible.
Yeah, it's fun too.
Yeah.
And it's all linked. It's there for you.
Yeah.
Especially with the gays, I think they want you to find it anyways. So
I mean, with straight men, it's a little difficult because either they have a picture of a tree or
or a fish
or a fish. But yes, that was my experience. And so after that, I mean, then I wasn't in the dating scene for a long time.
Yeah.
Because of that, because I was put off by it.
Sure.
And also by the fact, I mean, this again goes back to maybe it's just Amsterdam, and
Yeah.
this is not just particular to Dutch culture right now that I'm talking about. People here don't date to date; they only date to be fuck buddies, and that might be cool for other people, and that's
No,
fine.
that's true.
I'm very sex positive. If that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
do it. Be safe. That's it.
Yep.
Literally, that's it. But that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And they don't date to date.
They don't date to date, and they don't necessarily maybe date on a trajectory to like get married or follow normal traditions.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. Like yay.
Yeah, live in the moment.
Yay for living in the moment.
Yeah.
But like I think the saying here is like how do you know when you're actually together? Well, it's when you open like a joint checking account and have a kid.
Yeah. And
Very different than in America where, maybe after the 10th date or something, you have to have the talk. What are we?
what are we?
I need that in my life.
I do too.
That's something I would get in trouble for asking here.
Yeah.
Why do you even need to bring that up?
Yeah. And imagine if we ever even bring up the topic, meeting our parents or something like that.
Right.
They'll be like, oh, they're just going to straight up meet them in the wedding. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I don't know. I was dating someone for a couple months and he got scared off because I said I was talking to my friends about him.
Oh my God. I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm like, one, I'm going to tell them anything anyways and
Yeah.
everything, always.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words. But two, we've been dating for several months. This shouldn't put you off anymore. I would be happy if you wanted to share me with your friends.
Yeah. And
Such a strange, maybe that was a personal hang up for him. I'm not sure if that's a culture
Yeah.
issue. But the other problem I run into a lot with here, maybe not an Amsterdam issue, but just like an urban cosmopolitan life issue. So many young people like just want to be single.
yeah.
I do too, honestly.
Yeah.
So I've had whole phases here where I don't want to be dating people.
Yeah.
I still want to go on dates. I still want to hook up. But yeah, there's been a long time where I didn't want to be single, but now I'm ready for a ring on my finger.
Genuinely.
Or just yeah. So that's hard because now I'm running into a lot of probably who I used to be in the past, people not wanting to commit or be open to something.
Yeah. I mean, I think commitment is the issue of this generation,
Yeah.
to be honest. And again, we might have met the wrong people. And that's what the vibe we're getting. But I think they have this expectation or they have this thing in the back of their mind that, okay, if I am shackled to someone, what if I'm missing out the chance on meeting someone else who's 10 times better than them?
Yeah.
So it's like, they're not perfect. They're not perfect. And then so like, I'd rather be single. So I'd rather just hook up.
Exactly. So let me not
settle.
the Dutch extreme of that is like, well, then let me fully like withdraw because this is not an efficient use of my time.
No. And that is not the way
Even
I
if things are
approach-
going okay.
Yeah. And that's not the way I approach things. That's not the way I know you approach things.
No, not at all.
Which is why I think it's quite difficult for us to date in this city. Or if anyone thinks like us, at least.
I think, look, you can look into this too. There's plenty of expat guides on dating in the Netherlands. And it's really a lot of people sharing the same concerns.
Sentiments,
Like,
yeah.
people telling stories about going on dates, whether like very direct or hurtful to them, or how hard it is to get people to even like commit to a time and place to meet.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Like, I'm not gonna beg for it. If you're not excited to meet me, that's already an indication to me.
Mm-hmm.
To them, that's not an indicator of anything. That's just a pragmatic, like, I'm busy right now.
Yeah. And
But to me, that's like a sign of affection and intention.
yeah. No, absolutely. I absolutely agree.
So then it's hard to I can't read that sign because I know they're not giving it off as a sign, but I'm definitely
reading it. as a
reading
sign.
it as such.
No,
But there's all kinds of those expat stories I was talking about. People are like, I've never had trouble dating anywhere else, and then I moved here, and it's like, what the hell happened to me?
yeah. No,
And it's not you, sweetie. Don't worry. But
that is so relatable
Yeah.
because, like you said, I don't like to have,
Mhm.
for example, time constraints in dating. If you want to date someone, you date someone. I can't say, oh, in 2 weeks, let's meet every fortnight at 6 p.m. because that's the only time I'm free.
yeah.
Or like that's the most like
And what
routine.
come on, what are you so we're dating mostly young people, so
Yeah.
like young career people or students.
Yeah.
What are you that busy with? Excuse me,
we have
you're not like
exactly.
a Wall Street stock trader. This isn't Silicon Valley. You're not.
And we have like you are a full-time student.
Yeah.
I'm a full-time employee.
Yeah.
We work 8
Yeah.
hours a day. We
Absolutely.
only have weekends off. And if we can find
I can still make time for it.
Yeah. It's priorities, honestly.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I don't think there's much else going on. I mean, you can be at any edge of this country within like 2-3 hours, so it's not even a distance or a timing issue.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about our woes in this country and how
Just some of them.
how bleak our love life is. I want to know how it was in California or in America and
Yeah.
your experience
Well,
there.
really, like in California, I haven't dated much because I live at home.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just no need to. Like, I'm only there to visit my family, so I'm on vacation. So that's my purpose. But I was in New York for the spring, and it was really like a refreshing energy to realize I kind of like, I hate to say it, I'm embarrassed. I like the American style. Just because that's what I have too, I think. I like the warmth, I like the openness, I like
I would agree with you.
even to a certain like degree, I almost like the fakeness.
No, but that's true.
Because I've been on dates in New York where they'd be like, "Oh, I've had a great time. Thank you so much. This was a lovely night," and then they would block me the next day. But that actually works out for me a lot nicer than ending a date here with them being like, "Yeah, I'm not into this very much. I don't want to see you again, and this wasn't fun." Bluntly to my face, explicitly.
Example 101 why we need therapy.
I crave that distrust. No, but like the other thing in New York too, it's strangely such a big city, so there's so many more options available.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult city to be single in and to be alone in, because you can feel so lonely surrounded by so many people. So I think all these guys that I were meeting are like either don't have a lot of friends there or people just move there. So you're willing to go on any date with anyone whenever. And I had such a blast doing that. I would literally match with someone and be having coffee with them within 24 hours.
That's amazing.
And I like that. I don't need to make any preconceptions by talking over a dating app. I don't need to stop and analyze text messages for a while. I wait to ask them out. So I'm a much bigger fan of getting that person to person context. So it was great just going out and casually meeting people. And yes, since I knew I wasn't staying there, I wasn't living there, I didn't care how things went. So I had such like my expectations were low because I wasn't staying. I also didn't put in much effort. And then ironically, that created such a natural condition
Yeah.
for me to meet someone nice.
But that's how it should be,
Yeah.
right? Like that's how
But that approach wouldn't work here.
no. Absolutely not. That is unfathomable, to
Yeah.
be very honest with you.
It's ironic too because it took a lot less effort, but the results were better. That's efficient,
That's very efficient.
but it wouldn't work here.
No.
And yeah, what about you? What were things like at home for you?
So, Kathmandu, my goodness. I come from Kathmandu, from Nepal. So that's the
Mhm.
capital. And Kathmandu is tiny. When I say it's tiny, it's super, super tiny.
Mhm.
Everyone knows everyone.
Mm.
And by that, I don't mean, oh, my friend's cousin goes to that school. It means I know you, my parents know your parents, my grandparents know your
Oh my
grandparents,
gosh.
and probably my great grandparents also knew your great grandparents. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
Like, that's how small the circle
Too
is.
much.
Everyone is married to everyone,
Mhm.
everyone is friends with everyone, or everyone's like enemies with everyone. Everyone's children go to the same 5 schools, end up going to probably the same universities also abroad, and it's the same circle. So to answer your question, I only had like I was in a serious relationship.
Yeah. Wait, that's kind of like dating gay people though. Like we all know each other. I can find 5 mutual Instagram connections. I see you at the same
Oh
bar
my
every week.
God.
Huh.
And that's the thing. So in Kathmandu, I didn't date a lot. I
Right.
only was in one relationship, and then I came to college. But I think even right now, if I go back, I wouldn't be able to date because probably, who knows, my cousin might have dated him. Next thing you know, like, oh, he dated my third cousin. Or worse, he is my third cousin.
No.
Genuinely, like, if I see a guy in Kathmandu and I'm like, oh, he's really cute
Yeah.
and like he's kind of articulate too, my first thing that comes to my mind is ask my mom if he's related to me. I have to ask, Ma, do you know his parents? If you do, are they related to us?
Stop it.
I cannot risk this third generation or like, what is it?
Yikes.
Like twice removed incest.
No.
So that's
Wow.
the deal. So coming to Amsterdam, coming to university, I thought
Yeah.
I would be dating like crazy and like I'd be in my zone. I wouldn't have to think of all of this, like how you felt in New York.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
and to have that expectation plummet.
Because I had that expectation about coming here too.
Yeah. So that's how.
And then I wouldn't. It didn't plummet for me. I mean, I've been on plenty of dates here. I've had a few little situationshipy things, but it's just been so different than what I imagined.
Yeah.
And so different than what I know it would be like elsewhere. Which, not to harp on it, but it just keeps coming back to like, what is the common denominator here? It's got to be some sort of cultural expectations misalignment.
Yeah. No, and I think that's, I mean, we're not picking on the Dutch culture. I mean, good for them. This country is thriving.
Yeah.
Especially in a pandemic too.
Absolutely. I love the social system here. I love the
Everything.
way the ways the government works.
The benefits.
Mean, they are hosting us.
Yeah.
Generously.
Yeah, and that's amazing. But I think this boils down to being in a very big cosmopolitan city, where, yeah,
You know what it is?
What?
We are big fish in a reclaimed pond. It's unnatural.
Is going to be my Instagram bio.
This is all swampland. We don't belong here.
No, this is practically swampland. Yeah. Like, Google it. Google how.
Fascinating. I love their engineering.
Okay. This is all man-made.
Something about living 9 meters below sea level is not right for your chakras.
It clogs the system.
Basically, that's why we're single. It has nothing to do with us. It's the alignment. Because
we're flawless, obviously.
Stop it.
That's a joke, by the way. Please don't take that seriously. We said it multiple times.
We've spent a long time analyzing how we can be better and working on it and trying to be good.
And one of the main reasons, or one of the main factors that will make us better is therapy.
Maybe we can get a therapy company to sponsor
Oh my
us.
God, imagine. Seriously though, like my health insurance provider, if you're if you're listening to this, if you can sponsor therapy sessions for us, I would love it so much.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, that's been the past so far, and there are plenty of misadventures to tell about and
Oh,
stories, and
so many.
I think they will all come out over the course of this
Yeah.
podcast. Uh,
I think most of the stories are more than relationship. They're very NSFW, which is why it's not.
that's why they're not for this episode.
Yeah,
They'll
they're
be
not.
for
Yeah,
another time.
they'll be for educational purposes only.
But there are plenty of fun stories to tell too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what about the future? I mean, right now, okay, we've done the past. The present is
Yeah.
still pandemic time.
Pandemic time.
You're busy with working.
I'm busy with working.
I'm busy with school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are, in a movie, those are great places to find love. In real life, that shit gets complicated.
Yeah.
Okay?
In movie world, in like a Nicholas Sparks movie,
Mhm.
we're the protagonists.
Oh, well, if this was a movie right now, I wouldn't be single. And I know.
Oh, I'd probably be engaged to be married.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah. But we have to live with the real consequences of,
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus in class. I don't need to be distracted in my Zoom calls every day.
Yeah, I have deadlines to meet, and if I overthink about why am I not getting that text back, there goes my career. No, but to answer your question, I am hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
If not in this city, maybe I'll go back home and ask my parents if they have some suitable boys
Good backup plan.
for me to meet. So maybe my man Bo should listen.
We're just going to start traveling too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's outsource this hunting.
No, seriously though, I am hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm
a bit more hopeful now. Like I'm not completely joking about the convent thing. Like I should try I should try being single. I mean, a lot of things in my life are pretty chill right now,
Yeah.
so I'm enjoying that energy.
Yeah. And I also believe, like, okay, sorry to cut you
That's
off,
okay.
but
I'll save my thought. Go. Go.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, you think. I'll finish saying I have some faith that something could happen now. This has been a crazy year. So I'm ready for a curveball, a good curveball to actually come. Having like been in quarantine where like this is the last thing on my mind, I can't meet people. Now there's a possibility for it. So we will see if something flowers. It's been a weird shift though, like experiencing those emotions again because I have been so turned off since the spring. Like haven't even looked at a man, not interested, not a possibility, just rejected it. Now those emotions are coming back in. I'm like, oh, I have butterflies in my stomach and other feelings in other places. It's hard. Literally, it's hard to adjust back to an active scene.
No, yeah. No, I absolutely agree.
That's what you were gonna say, right?
No, I was gonna say it's gonna be very hard to feel things again because I've been. I'm sorry for being so cynical, but no, seriously, because I've been single for so long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do if I feel things. Like I wouldn't know how to react. But I also feel so, like you said, we have no complaints about life right now, especially right now.
Yeah,
because things are looking up for us when the majority of the population are not in the best place.
Yes, I mean we've hit our low points at other times.
Yeah, and
if anyone wants to talk about 2018, I'm available for that.
Second year uni, oh my god.
But
no, but I was saying, like you said, when we were in like quote unquote relationship or like having a thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Things weren't looking good for us in like the big picture setting.
Well, that's true.
Things were really bleak.
If I had to choose what part of my life that was going right, I'll sacrifice relationship for everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And now,
that just means that wasn't the right partner.
No, absolutely.
Obviously,
absolutely.
All the relationships I've been in, even though they've been mostly short-lived, they've been stressful. They've been rewarding, but they've been stressful. I think that will be the sign for me when it's something genuine. It's like, obviously we'll still take emotional effort and relational effort, but it just won't be a challenge.
I mean, the minute I won't have to make a pros and cons list with a man, that's when I know
it shouldn't be
he's the one.
That's it will be natural.
Yeah.
I like to. I used to say easy, but that takes away like all of the work that goes into building relationships. So not easy, but natural.
Yeah. And like Katya and what's her name said.
Trixie.
Trixie
Go
said,
watch their show on Vice. It's incredible.
Wonderful. Like they said, you don't find the one, you build the one.
Exactly.
I don't think there's gonna be, you know, like a lightning striking me when I meet the man of my life.
I mean, there could be some lightning involved because the weather here is not conducive to anything romantic whatsoever.
I mean, very bold of you to assume I'm gonna meet someone here.
Oh. I want to have faith still because like we have to make do with where we're at.
Yeah.
And that's here.
No, I have faith because I think our outlook in love and, you know, meeting someone, has really matured. At least for me. Because when I was 18, I was like, by 25, need a kid, need a husband, need stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's so easy because you just have to fall in love and that's it. Then everything falls into place. But what a stupid way to look at the world. I mean, what a dumb little bitch I was.
I feel the same way. Like my expectations since I've been here have been really high sometimes, really low sometimes. What I know is like right now and in the future, at least I feel like I have more insight.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Into the world and how to go about dating and meeting people and just how to, you know, behave and think about myself.
Yeah.
Compared to like what we were saying, other things are going pretty well right now. So I'm not stressed. I'm pretty content.
Yeah.
Things will happen. Of course, we're each going to have little crushes and go absolutely crazy and, you know, have dates that go badly and dates that go wonderfully and little situationships. But
yeah, exactly. And sorry.
The thing is, when I was younger like last year, those things used to have so much impact on my day to day, and I think they have less
impact now
of a tug now.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. And I believe so. My outlook in relationship, why it's changed, because I used to believe that relationship was just love. Oh, that's it. Like you fall in love, that's it. You're smitten.
Yeah.
But now relationship is a sum of a lot of elements.
It's a complicated world.
It's very complicated.
So there's a lot of factors.
And a relationship isn't just going to work just because you're in love.
That's exactly what I meant by it takes work.
It takes so much work.
Not stress. Well, some of it might be stressful. But
I mean, it takes work to wake up and like the person that you're waking up with every day.
I was going to say in the mirror, but both. You
Both.
better like the mirror first.
Yeah. And then the person.
And then the person in bed next to you.
Like you can be in love with that person, obviously. But are you going to like that person that day? That's like, that
was a hard concept for me to learn. Like my parents have a fairy tale romance, as you know.
Yeah.
Like never a fight in their life.
Yeah.
Like literally knew on the third date they'd get married.
Yeah.
Married in 6 months.
Imagine that.
Boom.
Imagine that.
That was my standard. That was my Hallmark movie. But you know what? There's no drama to that movie. It wouldn't get produced.
It wouldn't. Because there's no conflict.
There's no conflict. There's probably some, I mean, they're amazing people. So there's like that lighthearted value.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's no
drama or comedy or tragedy.
Yeah.
You need one of those three.
Exactly. And I think mine is, I mean, my parents didn't have a love marriage. They had an arranged marriage. But I mean, they got married so young.
Yeah.
They had me so young. And in my head, that was like, and look, they've lasted so long.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, so why shouldn't I do that by 25?
That was my reference point too, growing up the whole time.
Like, why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
And now I'm like at 25. 25 is like tomorrow. Like, fuck.
My gosh.
We're not 25, by the way. Just saying.
Yes. Phew.
We won't be for quite a few years.
Yep. So, fellas, you still have some time to make your move.
A ring and a bump.
To be on our schedule. I want to be bumped.
Yeah. So that's my future outlook. And that's our future outlook. We're hopeful. Hopeful
romantics. I have to guard the romantic bit a bit,
Yeah.
but sometimes it comes out now.
It comes out. And I still believe in grand romantic gestures.
Yeah.
I believe in
I-
understanding.
I know the signs of what I want
Yeah.
and how that is expressed and what my love language is.
I was gonna say
Love
the
languages.
same. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say the same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I've understood what my love language is. I'm trying to
I mean,
understand.
this is not the most academic
Oh no,
communication
no.
psychological
No.
theory, but it's a really good relationship building tool.
You can translate it in your workplace by learning the communication style.
They've also come out with now apology language, which is a thing I didn't know about. Now you do.
YouTubers take note.
Go on. I forgot the guy's name who wrote these books and these theories, but go on the website and take the love languages quiz.
Yeah.
And you'll know a bit more about yourself.
Yeah.
Because you could do it if you're single too.
Exactly, and which is why I mean that.
And what I know is things which are important to me are words of affection. That doesn't match well with a very direct culture, and quality time.
Yeah.
Which doesn't match well with a very efficient culture.
I think mine is words of affection and actually materialism.
Okay. There you
which
go.
is gift giving.
Oh.
And no, I don't expect expensive gifts. I expect thoughtful gifts that have effort into them. And I think I get this from my mother because she's an excellent gift giver. So I've always received really great gifts. Not things I needed, but things I wanted.
Yeah.
And that fit me so well. And once you have that your entire life, when your family is doing that to you constantly, when your friends are doing that to you constantly,
Yeah.
obviously you expect that from your fucking boyfriend.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, gifts give me anxiety.
Yeah,
actually, because I
exactly.
we're not very gift focused in my family.
Yeah.
Even in holidays and stuff. So
No,
now,
yeah.
if it's my birthday and people want to give me gifts, I have no idea what to tell them, and I
Yeah.
also have no idea what to
No,
get people.
yeah,
So
I
stressful.
remember.
But that doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means that it's not my love language.
No.
Gifts could mean nothing to. They mean nothing to me.
Exactly. That's what you told me. Like
Yeah.
your last birthday, you're like, please don't get me
I
anything.
don't. Yeah, it means nothing.
No, but
Do I still want a guy to pay for drinks once in a while? Absolutely
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
no, but it's very interesting because you learn a lot about yourself. Then you know how to communicate that
Yes.
with your partner.
Yeah.
And also you'll have insight on how to reciprocate that
Right.
yourself in the language that they understand. And some people are not verbal about this. Some people are like only nonverbal and show it through gestures, for example.
Yeah.
And that's also a style that you have to learn because that is also communication.
Yeah. As much as we want to be fancy communication scientists who think we can control every factor in the model, this is a two-person tango.
Yeah,
You are only one of those people.
exactly. And yeah, let's not even get into the various factors and variables involved
Exactly.
in it.
But I think that's maybe our future plan. We're never going to stop overanalyzing. That's our nature.
Yeah.
We're never going to stop theorizing.
That's in our DNA.
But I want to do that more reflectively on myself and less kind of trying to project and imagine what the other person is.
Yeah.
They'll just have to show it to me somehow or prove it somehow. You know?
Yeah,
The facts on paper I can analyze, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine scenarios. But doesn't everyone love doing that though?
Yeah. But you can't.
But
you
you can't.
cannot predict
Yeah.
the outcome.
Exactly.
You just cannot. You can figure out a pattern. You can
Absolutely.
you can deduct
Yeah.
a possible outcome.
Yeah.
But it's only a possibility.
There you go.
And that's something we need to keep in mind.
Yeah. A red flag is not a physical thing. It's a sign. It's
It's
an
a sign.
indication.
Exactly.
You can overthink it or not, but it just has its one face value. Everything else is what you attach to it.
Yeah. And those red flags.
Doesn't matter if it's a red flag or whatever emoji he decided to send you or at what time interval he waited to send a message. You can't put... I need to stop at least putting so much analysis into it.
And be careful.
Just for sanity.
Be careful. All red flags look white through rose-colored glasses. So
Now I just want to go to Paris.
we should. A trip is pending of ours to go to Paris.
What's the creepy travel agency commercial guy?
Hotel.
Trivago. If y'all want to sponsor us too, we'll do an
Please.
on location
Our
on
preferred
location episode from the Louvre.
or the palace in Brussels.
There we go.
There we go.
The Brussels episode's coming up soon.
Oh.
We have a connection to that place, spiritual and otherwise.
And otherwise, yeah. But we need to revisit Brussels as well.
Definitely. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Anyways.
This was fun.
Good episode. Bit longer, but that's because we were just having too much fun.
Yeah, and this is like an analysis on our entire love life.
I think literally any young person who tries to date today will relate to something in this.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. Unless you're having a fabulous love life where we've not even have one heartbreak. Good for you.
In that case, please be a guest star. We would like to learn from you on air.
Oh no, yeah.
And maybe you're one of those Dutch people who we've been kind of poking fun at the whole time. Maybe you have some feedback that would help us interact with you better.
Yeah.
And maybe you've got some things to keep in your mind on how to interact with us.
Yeah, maybe we just don't know how to communicate with you.
Yeah.
And you just need to
Wouldn't that
teach
be
us
ironic
that.
if we're bad at the one thing we're supposed to be good at? That's hot.
All right, guys. That's it for this episode.
DM us some of your relationship observations, some of your horror date stories. Leave us an audio message on Anchor.
Questions, queries, qualms, all the keywords.
I love it.
Send it towards us and we'll try to answer it. We'll try to react to it. We're not going to promise anything, but we'll definitely try.
Your homework this week is to take a cute new picture for Tinder and make sure your STD testing is up to date.
It's very important, guys. Anyway, find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and every other platform.
All over the place. Just don't find us in Amsterdam because we don't leave the house that often.
Our handle is at theaudacity.fm, except for in Twitter, where we have an underscore.
Ugh. That underscore is going to give me nightmares.
Yeah.
So stick to our link tree instead.
Yes, which is linked on both of our bios and our Instagram bio.
There you go. And while you're on Instagram, go ahead and stalk us too. I could use some more likes on my pictures.
Oh, my account's
I know
private.
you might not feel the same way, but give me all that attention.
My account's private, so.
There you go. There you go. Okay. See you next time.
No. Share this.
Share?
With you.
Oh, yeah.
It's your turn.
It's my turn to say the tagline. I kind of already hinted at it earlier. Share this with your friends. I'm sure they would love to learn. Share this with your enemies too. All those Dutch boys you've broken up with could use to hear this episode.
This is specifically for our friends.
I might send this to an ex or two after once we finalize it.
Anyway, that's it, guys. This was fun, and see you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.